Tuesday again, coming from Rythmia Life Advancement Center in Guanacaste, Costa Rica. And as always, it is a glorious day every Tuesday, right? It's great to see you. This is an in between thing. So my last series is over and my next series didn't start yet. So we're just going to have a chat today. And I want to talk about a couple things. So Rythmia is a life advancement center like no other in the world. 96.97% of the people who walk through the door claim that they had a life-changing miracle during their stay. How many folks have been through the door? About 13,700 people. This year we'll see our 16,000th person this year. Amazing. Yeah, and the better part of that is 91.87% of them at the 6-month mark say that this was the week that changed their life 6 months later. That's why it's super hard to get in here and getting harder. We were booked solid the first December, January, February of this year, and we have another super busy week with my good friend Cesar Milan joining us this week at Rythmia. It's just an amazing time. He's an amazing guy, and I'm so grateful that Rythmia has given me the chance to meet all these amazing people, the people that I know who've been through here and who've had this life-changing experience and who are telling the world about it. Yes. So we've been talking about the things that what works in the past 10 talks that I had. And today I'm going to talk about something a little bit different because I brought it up last week, but I first want to revisit some things. I had a friend and his name was Mike, and I grew up with this guy, and he was the best business person I knew in my area. And he was on fire for life. He was on fire for life. Had no idea about spirituality, had no idea, but he was on fire for life. And he used to say to me, he used to just love to be involved in life. And he would say to me, he'd say, Jerry, anytime I wake up and see the green side of the grass, it's fantastic. So this is what I'm going to tell you is that a lot of how we walk through and how we look at life is wrong, right? Is wrong because the nature of human existence has changed so much and has become so much softer as primarily as technologies develop. Life has become softer, right? So what do I mean by that? There was a time when we had to farm and hunt our own food. Now that occupied most of the day. So we went from farming and hunting our own food to being able to go to a grocery store and buy it, to ordering it in restaurants, to now texting something and having it delivered to us wherever we are. We want a medication, just text and have it delivered to wherever. We want food, text and have it delivered. Anything we want can be texted and delivered to us. So the possibility to become confused and weakened by this is a very real thing. It's a very real thing. As life gets easier, we get slower. As more that gets done for us, we get dumbed down. And the more dependent we come, the less independent we are. So for me, freedom is, and I really have to watch these things because the conveniences are everywhere. But the real thing is freedom and independence. Those are the things that I want: freedom and independence. And I'm really, really, really tuned into them. It's interesting because plant medicine ceremonies show us so many things. They show us so many things, and when I saw in my own life where I was becoming weak, independent, I immediately did things to counteract that. I immediately, because I don't want weak, and I don't want dependent. I want strong, free, and independent. so so I was talking about a bunch of different things in the last Facebook Live, and a lot of people wrote me and had questions, and I want to address some of those questions. So one of the things that's become incredibly apparent to me, the more medicine that I do, is that our differences are our strengths. And and what's interesting, in my younger days, you could not have convinced me of that. I wanted 100 people of the same type doing the same thing. In my companies, I had no room for creatives. I just wanted people who got things done, were list takers, and da 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 da. And it was wrong. My companies suffered because of it. As a turning 60 this year, I look back at that and I see it. What's interesting is that if it takes a village, and there are books, a bunch of books written about this, but at one time, clans or tribes were most successful when there were about 120 to 150 people in total. And in that, there would be a natural mix of different types of people. So the most successful companies have a bunch of different types of people. The most successful communities have a bunch of different types of people. The internet has allowed us to operate within an echo chamber. So what is an echo chamber? Well, if you take a bunch of super far right leaning folks and put them in one group, and they can only communicate with each other. And then you take a bunch of super far left leaning folks and you put them in one group, and they can only communicate with each other. What you have is you have no new ideas. You're just reaffirming the things that you already know and believe as true. And if metaphysical teachings have taught us anything, it's that if we believe that something is true, well, our picture is true outside of us. We will see what we believe. If I believe that I don't know, blonde people are lazy. If I really believe that, then I will see blonde people as lazy, and then the universe will give me evidence of that everywhere. So, in our independence, if you want to be a great leader, a great business person, if you want to build a beautiful community, a beautiful company, you have to allow for these differences, and not only allow for them, but celebrate them. Celebrate our differences. Like, man, I have never seen anybody who thinks like that. I appreciate your thoughts. You do not have to agree with it. You don't have to agree with it. You have to appreciate it. And all of a sudden, the fullness of what you're building becomes evident. And I give you an example of that. When I was a kid, I loved basketball, and I was a big Knicks fan at that time. And this isn't about the Knicks, but there were two guys in the NBA, Muggsy Bogues and Spud Webb, and one was 5'3", and one was 5'6". Now, if you want to talk about our differences, our strengths, right? Talk about a positive attitude. Imagine being born 5'3", and you got to be the smallest guy in your class. And at some point, someone says to you at about the 10th grade, "What do you want to be?" And you say, "I'm gonna be a professional basketball player in the NBA." Now imagine how that would have been met. Imagine how that statement would have been met. And the craziest thing, in an interview that I watched, and I just remember it because around that time, all kids want to be, not all kids, but a great amount of kids want to be a professional basketball player. And I was wanting to be one as well, and I was not super tall. But I remember I forget who was interviewing him, and he said, He said, what makes you so great? And he said, well, there's nothing going on down here. All of everything is going on up there. Nothing's going on down here. I have the place to myself. I have the court to myself down here. So you want to talk about turning something that was an apparent weakness into an obvious strength because he was right. Because he was right. They can't get them down there. That's what I'm talking about. And then imagine having the recruiter being the recruiter and says, you know what? I see that 6'8" guy from Kentucky, but I'm going to take the 5'3" guy from Cleveland. Boom. Our differences are our strengths, right? So it's easy to stay in the echo chamber. It's easy to continue to believe what you want to believe and believe more of it, but it's unhelpful. It's unproductive, and it's not found in nature. So in nature, there's all people are in the tribe. All people are in the tribe. So I'm just cautioning you that it does take a village, and our differences are a strength. So let's say your core belief is that, and I'm going to tell you, this core belief was a common core belief as long as I can remember, and I'm falling victim to it as well. My grandparents would say, oh, and this is in the 70s, they would say, oh, everybody has it so easy now. Everybody has it so easy now. And so that statement of everybody has it so easy is like is wild, because I believe that now. So it seems like all past generations believe that. Now, I can hold that belief and take advantage of it at the same time. I'm going to tell you how. So if everybody has it so easy, then what a great opportunity for a hard worker like me. What a great opportunity for a hard worker like me. If everybody's getting lazy, then what a great opportunity for a hard worker like me. And what a great thing to teach your kids. Never has there been less competition than in an era where everybody is lazy. That's fantastic. So getting back to our differences are our strengths. There are people that are promoting alpha male mentality on the internet. Yeah, and I have no opinion. But I'll tell you what, 100 alpha males in a room can't get much done either. So it's this mix of everything that creates a village. It's this allowing of other people to be themselves and allowing you to be yourself, but your best self that makes the difference. So what do I mean by that? If you are creative, to be the best creative you can be. If you're a person who gets things done, to be the best person who gets things done that can be. See, it's all about being the best in that particular thing. It's about becoming a beneficial presence on the planet through our own uniqueness, through our own unique strengths, right? Not becoming, like if I ever tried to be Taito Juanito or Michael Beckwith, I would fail. I tell people every week in this class, if you're here, you're going to quickly see that I am not a thought leader. I am not a saint. I'm just a regular guy that had something extraordinary happen to them. I'm the business guy in it. If I ever tried to be the lead shaman or the thought leader or that, it wouldn't work. It wouldn't work. So I have to be uniquely who I am to the best of my ability in order to give birth to rythmia. You have to be uniquely who you are to the best of your ability to become a beneficial presence on the planet. And then you have to allow others their own. So in other words, if I forced the shaman to be like me, it wouldn't work. If I forced the yoga people to be like me, it wouldn't work. If they forced me to be like them, it wouldn't work. So it's this comfortability with your uniqueness amplified by your desire to become great at it. Get great now. Become great now. But don't change who you are. Don't change your core abilities. Don't change that. Ride that through. Make that who you are, your own uniqueness, your own beautiful stamp of you. It's amazing stuff, but it's true. So be the Muggsy Bogues, be the Spud Webb, be like advertise your differences and then become great at what you're doing and become this unique and beneficial presence on the planet. That's what it's all about. Until next week, I want to just say something. My book, Truthonomics, I think people can read this in about an hour, is a dynamite handbook for going through these steps and making this thing work. I'm a high school dropout, and I've done pretty good on a number of occasions because of this methodology. Please take a look at this thing. It's quick, it's easy, and it works. I will see you at Rythmia. Book now. Until next week.